PlayStation, you suck. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Achievement Hunting 101 podcast, your premier achievement hunting community. This is level 14. We have an awesome show for you guys tonight, but before we get to that, let's introduce who will be joining us. First up, we have Michelle, or Maychark. Did I get it?
Oh, yes, you did. We need to enter some celebratory sounds in post-production. Awesome. Yes, I am here.
Next is L, aka Big L. How's it going?
Wow. You pronounced my name correctly, finally.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, yeah. Well, I have to mispronounce someone's name. I can't get it all perfect. That's not how this goes. We are not professionals here.
Is there anyone else here?
Well, yes, there is. And lastly, as always, we have with us is Corey, the Rocker Dude 5012. How's it going, buddy?
See, I'm not the Rocker Dude. I'm just Rocker Dude, so that's how he messed me up. So
there we go.
Right on par.
One time, I swear I will get this right.
And it's 5012.
But I'm doing good. Yeehaw, cowboy.
After I get everyone's names correctly, we can end the show. So we'll have a long time before that happens. But first, as always, let's go right into our proclamation point. L.
Proclamation point!
Okay, L wants a big X.
What's that?
That's cool. Not bad.
It was like Vince McMahon, man.
No.
Yeah, I definitely heard metal lead singer, too. I'm with you there.
But if you can read them off, Corey.
Koosh Moose has a triple milestone in our list here. He is now in the top 5,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard over all of TA, I believe. He has also hit 450,000 TA and at the same time 10,500 achievements unlocked. Good job there.
Way to go, Koosh.
Awesome, Koosh.
Chin Doctor has 2 proclamations on this list. He's reached 600,000 gamer score and 19,250 achievements won.
Not bad.
Nicely done.
Damn.
We're staying in the land down under, and Professor Pluto has reached a new milestone of 10,750 achievements won. There's a lot of achievements being unlocked here.
UHH helps.
Yeah. Tropan has unlocked 13,500 achievements. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's keep this streak going. Anyone else with an achievement one milestone?
As I skim through the list, Elroy OMJ has 12,500 achievements unlocked, and that'll round that one up. A couple people left. Awu, currently on a 1,300-day achievement streak. That's pretty good. How many years is that, Kenny?
Nice.
Math, a couple.
All right. Toad Style Venom has hit 1,050,000 TA. So that's pretty good.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a lot.
Kingsman 2625 has completed 175 games. That's pretty good. And last but not least, actually 2 of them. We'll save the best for last. Big L is now in the top 50 for New York TA. Good job there, buddy.
Nice.
Nice.
Do you know how much TA that is offhand?
Not a blessed clue.
All right. Well, good job regardless. And the last person on this list is the Rocker Dude 5012. He made the top 100 for Gamerscore in Tennessee. Catching
Very
up to
nice.
Elroy
Nice.
there.
Very nice.
You got to pass that other.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened right after I hit 165,000. So that's currently the Tennessee threshold for top 100.
Oh, man.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
Corey. I got another one, too. You missed it.
Not on the list, but go ahead.
It's on the list.
No.
Keep looking.
Big Hell apparently has completed 300 games.
Yeah,
Good job.
Good job.
All right. That's a legit one. Good job. How many games are on your tag?
301.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Really
30
good completion
times
there.
the completions of Mr. Poof over here, probably.
3.
Something like that. And
I'm actually up to I am quiet, Foof.
Go ahead.
Don't you want to know what my 300th completed game
What was your 300th
What was
completed
it?
game, El?
I don't remember.
Was it North?
Actually, it was Conan Exiles.
Oh, that doesn't
Yay,
count.
free games.
Yay, free games.
It's an 80 to 100 hour completion, dude.
Oh, okay.
It's
Very
really
impressive.
arduous.
You're pro.
Thank you.
MLG.
To answer Michelle's question, I have 693 games on my tag.
It's pretty good.
And 647,000 TA.
And 500 of those games are wrestling games. Moving on.
Oh, I wish. But I got my half-naked guy fixed with Conan Exiles. Thank you very much.
You decided to go the nude route.
What?
Well, the half nude route.
Oh my, yeah, I have some standards.
All right. Who helped you with the co-op achievement? Dare I ask?
Who helped me? I helped like 8
Did
people,
you?
man. Came to Big Al. Yeah,
That's good.
I did it first with Koosh of the Moose, actually, and we realized it pops for both people. So I was telling people to pair up and do it, but nope. I wound up helping a good 6 or 8 people.
What a good boosting czar you have been for us.
I am awesome.
You're so nice.
I know.
Did either of you guys do Conan as well?
I'll go first. My GameShare partner bought Conan and preview, so as soon as the achievement hit back in May, I tore that thing up.
Nice. Kenny?
I didn't have Xbox Live.
What?
Wait, what?
Yep, my live ran out, so I couldn't do it.
What? Okay.
That was real nice.
I'm gonna go at you here. You know that gold is game shareable. I know Elroy.
It wouldn't download.
I know Elroy has gold.
It wouldn't download for me. I don't know.
Excuses.
Hey, after the last, what was it? The Taco Bell one, when we were talking about Conan and Exiles, I immediately went and tried to do it. Wouldn't download afterwards. I don't know why. I assume it's because I have no live.
Well, if you had 10 less Taco Bell boxes, you would have had a year of gold.
Maybe you
Just
need to check
putting
your
it out
game
there.
share compatibility there. If you're still in the G-Task tourney thingy, you might still have it. Oh, gosh.
Nice.
I would have picked food also. Good job.
So I have a Taco Bell
Thank you.
update. I think I've
Oh.
entered 5 or 6 codes so far.
You've entered more than me, and I'm using some of Brooks' codes.
Yeah, those have all been my codes too.
And you're talking about how I eat.
I
too
made
much
a
Taco
decision
Bell.
yesterday, though. I'm done until the free codes come out. I'm gonna go ham on the free codes, but I'm done with that box. It's not pleasant, and it just makes you feel like you made terrible life choices every time you're done with it. So I'm done with the double chalupa, aka the beef canoe.
Is it making you like piss out your ass or something?
No, you just feel
Again?
horrible when you're done. It's that shell, I think. It's that fried, nasty, hard shell.
No, yeah, it definitely is.
Hey, should I enter a code right now while we're
Probably not.
No, it's not a good time.
Wait till it takes
Yeah,
over.
as I told people on our news break, I recommend super early morning if you can. But even if you can't, or you wake up and it's like 9 o'clock, enter it. I read this on the internet and it sounded plausible. Wait till the minute changes over, then enter it as soon as the minute changes over, because likely if wherever server it's based on is at an interval of a minute. I mean, it could be totally wrong, but if it's at a minute and you wait till like 2:01:50, well, you only have 10 seconds left before the 2, and what if the 2 is the special mark? If it was the 1, somebody may have beat you. You know, it's just science. Taco Bellology.
Sounds accurate.
No one wants this more than you.
I really do want the, and it's the main thing is for that stupid dong.
That's exactly why.
That's why your wife
me the
chose
dog.
you. Oh
The Elite controller would
I
be
want
just
it because
icing,
I
though,
don't
because
have
I
an
never
X,
had one.
and
But
I don't have money for
the
one.
dong,
He just wants it for the special power button sound.
yeah, that's true.
All right, where were we at?
That was the longest proclamation point yet, so still there.
And technically, we're not done. We got a UHH survivor. Congratulations to Waka for surviving one more round.
One and only from the Achievement Hunting 101 community. Good job.
Yeah, the round of
Very
16
good.
is no joke. It's tough work to get there, so good
And he
job,
still
Waka.
puts out those quickies for us to enjoy.
As of recording, he is losing 12-14, so there's still some fight left.
Yeah, but what? He's got, what, a couple days? No, he's got a whole week ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got a whole week.
Yeah, it's got till Friday. Or, well, Saturday, depending on the part of the world you're in.
Did you want to talk about your...
For him, it's like Saturday at
your run,
noon,
Michelle?
I think.
Yeah, this is the first week that you haven't made
the
our
worst
survivor list.
Decision of my life, and I'm glad to be able to play like a human being again. Now, UHH is awesome because it makes you play all this stuff you forgot you had, or stuff you had put aside for a long time, or I think a lot of people encountered in this year's iteration stuff you hadn't started yet because the way they handled the requirements to enter. I had a great time, but I'm also very happy to be done with it. I'm most grateful for rediscovering games that I had put aside for a very long time. Games like Burnout Paradise, a game like Costume Quest that I had purchased a long, long time ago and never played and had good fun with. Split Second was also fun to rediscover. I played some Rage finally, which I think I did a bean dive in 2012 and never had more than that one achievement. So it's been great, and I'm looking forward to the cleanup now. But it was really, really nice to come home tonight and turn on my Xbox and go, I can play whatever I want. and I'm a little contest burned out now, and it's nice to spend a little while not playing to those sorts of things.
I can imagine, especially for the last round, it was a 19-18 battle.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, and that was close. That is a good fight.
Yeah, and I have to shout out a couple of the folks that I ran into during... one thing that's cool about UHH is frequently, especially as you get into the later weeks, you become rather friendly with the folks that you wind up competing with. Because other than alt accounts generally, which are created for the purpose of trying to, in some way, manipulate the contest... even if your intention isn't to manipulate it to win, it's to manipulate it to be able to play, you're still engaging in that. But the people you encounter who are playing legit because they want to compete, the ones who actually are competitive tend to be really awesome. I drew a great competitor in the first week, Wickstar Runner. We went 16-16 and I won on ratio, and like we've PM'd a couple times since then and all that, and it's, cool getting to know him. Midnight Delight was the person who beat me out in the round of 32, and that guy was willing to stay up till 5:30 in the morning for rollover to bang out those last... I think he put up like 7 achievements in the last 2 hours before rollover to get that win.
Oh, jeez.
And we exchanged a couple PMs since then, and look, we'll help each other out if we need to. Other guy, Ken, that I ran into, his name is Ken H and a whole bunch of letters and numbers afterwards, randomly evasive. So these are all people that I did not know before entering, and now these are friends I have on my TA friends list and people who are willing to boost things. And I ran into Kronos as one of my competitors during the week, and he was great fun to play with too, because he was totally upfront. Hey, I'm not gonna be able to play through the whole week because I have vacation coming up, but I'm going to make you work for the win, and he did. So it was a great time, and I'm glad that TA doesn't run them more than they do because it's wears thin on you if you stay in it, but it was great. So happy for it to be over, had a great time. Hope Waka gets through this week and we can keep rooting him forward and offering help where we can as the competition continues.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if by any chance anyone's listening and we haven't mentioned you, let us know, and we'll keep track of your scores as well. Although there's not too many weeks left.
No.
Well, one thing with UHH as well is for most people, including myself, once you hit the just for fun, that's it. It's like I barely looked at my list this week, even though I drew one and I have an opponent who also isn't really playing. It's different when that little competitive edge gets taken away from it. But it is cool that you can still participate in that way if you if you do want to. So there are people still playing, and if people are still playing and have good just for fun matchups, we can certainly highlight those as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm playing the get out of the JFF the rounds. It won't let me not play. I uncheck that stupid checkbox every week, and I don't know. I'm a pudding for everybody, and I don't want to be, but TA's making me.
I actually unchecked the JFF box because I was after, especially the last couple weeks, where I'm like, wow, I stopped sleeping. Like, and I need to back off. So I unchecked it because I don't want to be in anymore, and it gave me a list anyway. So, but that's okay. I've managed to pretty much ignore it.
I did finally get my first JFF achievement this past week. I so happened to
Which
get
one?
My highest ratio one too. Red Dead Redemption 2 popped up somehow, and
Nice.
it was an early achievement. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's a good segue into what we'll be talking about tonight. Granted, this is probably the biggest game this is probably the biggest game of the year.
I'd probably say
And
decade.
I was just about to say that, and probably the decade, at least for the next few years, this is probably going to be the biggest game out there. Red Dead Redemption 2. I know I've been playing it a little. I haven't gotten too far. I've put 4 or 5 hours into it. Have you guys been able to play yet?
I have not. UHH kind of took me out of that loop, and I'm trying to wrap up a couple things before really doing the deep dive into Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm very much looking forward to it and looking forward to hearing you guys who have played it speak about it a little bit, but not quite yet for me.
Well, I'm playing the first one, so
And boosting.
what year should I be ready to play the second one? 7 years from now?
So when the
I'll be ready.
Xbox One XXXX comes out, you'll be on it.
Yeah.
You didn't go with the XXL joke? Okay.
No, that's too easy.
It's after Corey has down 7,000 boxes of Gordita Crunches.
I could do a Gordita Crunch any day, anytime.
So what are your first thoughts about it, Corey? What do you think? Actually, before we get to that, I assume we've all played Red Dead Redemption. I know, Elle, you said you're playing it now. Have we all beaten it? I have. I've gone through the story and played a bunch of like the side stuff.
Well, I did the same thing with Gears of War 2, actually. I did all the multiplayer first, and then I finally sat down and did the campaign. I started 2011, did those co-op missions, did some multiplayer. Just never sat down with the campaign, and I did, and I've been enjoying it. There's a nice walkthrough on TA. I'm kind of going along with that for the missions. But then the stranger missions come and all these other side quests, and then the walkthrough gets put to the side, and I just having fun with it. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's a game I don't really think that a walkthrough is beneficial unless you want to fly through it.
It's just to stay on a focused path. It was more just to do that.
I would say that if you didn't really care that much, that you could probably jump into Red Dead Redemption 2, because I mean we all know it's a prequel, and based off what I've played, you don't think you're going to miss anything other than some Easter eggs.
I'm more worried about it'll just be a step backwards to go through the second one and then go back to the first.
So it's like watching Star Wars and the chronological order.
Which is wrong.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
If you were to go to the second one, I agree. I don't think you'd miss too much. It is technically a prequel. The only thing that really ties the two together is spoilers for the first one. If you haven't played it,
Okay, Elle's playing it.
Oh, don't spoil it.
But
Just say that they all have guns and horses.
Well, I think it's safe to say, and I haven't played 2, that there is some character crossover.
exactly, that's
So
where I was getting at.
That's it. Without any other detail, there are characters in Red Dead Redemption 1 that you will see in 2. So having played 1 will give you a better appreciation of their placement in 2. But it's not necessarily necessary to know them as characters in Red Dead Redemption 1 to enjoy the story in 2.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I should clarify. I was going to talk about the first one. We're not going to talk spoilers on the second. I know, Corey, you're probably farther than I am, and I don't want spoilers. And even though I'm just a little bit into it, and what I would be able to talk about, story wise really wouldn't ruin anything, but still, we're not going to get in spoilers, so you don't got to worry about that. But yeah, like you said, Michelle, all the bandits and the bad guys that you wound up going after in the first one, all part of Dutch's gang. They're the main characters in the second. So it's like a lot of the backstory. You can really, see how the gang was, see how they operated. Yeah, I'm not going to say that just in case. But yeah, just a lot.
Dong.
Just a lot of the backstory for the characters.
So why don't we take a different tack instead of talking about the story? Since you and Corey have both played some of the game, how's the gameplay? How does it look? What things are striking to you? Is there anything you found as a side questy sort of thing that's fun or different or distinct from the first Red Dead Redemption?
Well, I'll start off real quick with just like the landscape and everything, the way everything looks. You guys know Red Dead Redemption 1 still looks good. It came out in 2011, still looks good, even though it's a 360 game. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks fantastic, and I'm on the OG Xbox. I can imagine how it looks for you, Corey, with an X.
Oh yeah, it's probably the most visually stunning game I've played, no doubt.
Yes, it's amazing. Even the cinematics look fantastic in it. It's so.
So that brings me to one of my top points about the game is that they blend the gameplay and the cinematics so well that sometimes you don't even realize that you're going into a cinematic if you play a certain way. So I'll basically there's a mechanic in the game where it was like this in the first one. I'm pretty sure that when you're riding your horse to a mission marker and you're with another NPC, you could match their speed by just holding A. You don't have to pay attention. You can just listen to the story and get synced into it. Well, it's the same thing in this one, but if you hold down the select button or the back button, whatever you want to call it, it goes into the cinematic widescreen mode. So not only does it go into widescreen, puts the black bars on the top and the bottom, the camera changes and it follows you in a certain way until you get off screen, and it will change again. And even the audio will change because as characters get further away, I noticed like their voices kind of started fading, and it makes it look like a movie. And when you get to the point B that you need to get to, you'll just kind of get off your horse and it will just keep going right into that cutscene, and it's just the immersion with that is just beyond belief for me. Like, I don't know, that just takes the cake with how this game has sucked me in.
Yeah, there's been multiple cutscenes where I find myself I'm still holding the A button or the L button or whatever because that's what I was doing to keep up with the guys, and then I realized, oh, I don't need to hold these. I'm in the movie.
Well, and the thing is, whenever it goes in that cinematic scene, like I was telling you about, where it looks like a movie, you can still control your person. If you've not tried that yet, you can move him back and forth and whatnot. And he kind of goes off the path, but you still have control in a cutscene type environment. It's just cool to see.
I remember that being a big thing in games right around when the PlayStation 1 came to be, and there was a sense of like real-time graphics versus cutaway or cinematic graphics, and how obviously you could tell, and it's really incredible. And I'll see Red Dead Redemption 2 sometime this week to see where we've come to this point now where it really is completely seamless. These aren't different video tracks that are being played somewhere in the data of now our digital versions, but actually just part of the gameplay, because I hadn't heard that, how you could still move and interact during cinematics even though you're intended to watch the story there.
Yeah, I've been sucked in by the story where it's like I'm just kind of watching the story, just kind of taking it in. I definitely recommend wearing Turtle Beaches or some sort of headset so you can just hear all the different sounds and whatnot.
I will say that when you start the game up, it asks you how you're listening to it. I don't know how that affects it. I chose headphones, but I believe a full audio setup was one of the options. So if you have that and that's how you play games, that's probably an even better option if you have a nice system.
Yeah, I don't like that Turtle Beach, so I can't take advantage of that.
I got the kids, so headphones all the way.
Now, are you playing in first or third person? Because that's actually a new option in Red Dead Redemption 2, is that you can play in first person.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can switch back
pretty
and forth.
much 100% third person.
Same here. I tried to play in first. It's weird. It's not that it's bad. I think this type of game just works better in third person. My personal.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the first person GTA, so it kind of handles the same way to me, as you might guess.
See, I haven't played GTA, so I don't know that.
Well, traditionally they were third person, and with the latest one, I think they introduced a first person mode after the fact, and some people liked it, some people didn't. So, I mean, I'm glad the option's there.
Yeah, and more options is never better. I'm sorry. More options is never a bad thing.
Speaking of which, I have some questions for you guys.
Have at it.
Now, I actually saw some people complaining that there were too many options. For example, you have to like groom your horse or clean your guns and stuff like that. Is that stuff mandatory, or is that just stuff you can choose to do?
Oh, it's totally optional. For example, cleaning your guns will improve some of the stats. So it's beneficial for you to do it. I'm pretty sure it's just holding a button. And same for the horse. Like, it told me my horse was dirty, and if I ran it through the river, it would clean it, and he would get slightly faster. I don't know how that works, but it's totally not mandatory.
Yeah, and also a lot of that stuff helps the way the world interacts with you. Like, for instance, in this game, hunting has been dramatically improved. Before, you just shoot an animal, skin it, you're done. Now you kill an animal, you can skin it, put it on the back of your horse, and then take it to camp so your camp can eat with you, because that's one of the mechanics, is kind of keeping your camp alive. Well, if you throw the dead carcass over your shoulder, you get blood on you. Well, when you go into town, people see the blood, they don't like it, so they'll actually interact with you differently.
Yeah, so this game, for me, like, it's really in the details that really keeps me coming back to it. The missions, it's a fetch mission, or, you got to go and kill this person or something like that. I mean, the missions can get repetitive, and really they're boring to me a lot of the times, because you have to ride the horse halfway across the map, and it takes a long time. I always choose that cinematic option where I just have to hold A, so I don't really have to think while I do it, but it does take time. And with my limited gaming time as it is, I would always choose fast travel if that's an option. And I've been playing Forza. I can't tell you how many times I got on my horse and hit the right trigger. And instead of going like a car would, I shot my gun at somebody.
I messed up a mission doing that.
But going back to it, it's the details that really make this game a top tier game to me. Just like Kenny said, with the blood on your shoulder and how people react, depending on what weather you're in, you'll get either hot or cold depending on what you're wearing, which affects your stamina and whatnot. The NPCs react to the missions that you've already done for them, and you'll walk by them and they'll mention something like that, or you'll walk right into a conversation and it will lead into a mission, and you probably wouldn't even know it. It's those level of details that make this game stand out, not so much their main missions to me.
There was one complaint I think I saw also about the game. I think you had mentioned it, Kenny, with the different meters. Like, there's your stamina and there's some other stuff you have to be mindful of.
Yeah, there's a couple of meters. Like, you have your health meter, your stamina meter, your deadeye meter.
That's it.
And I was thinking there was like two more, because I remember seeing 5.
There's two more, one for stamina and one for health for your horse. When you have a horse.
Right. Yeah, personally to me, I don't kind of like the way they look. I don't know. That's more of just a preference. It's not that they're bad. I prefer just a typical bar, something that I look over and go, oh, I'm at 50%. Oh, I'm at 25%.
He can't tell when he's 50% of a circle.
It's not as obvious as what I mean. Because it's not like the circles are real big. They're kind of small.
They're small, but once they get down, they like change colors and they blink or something. I don't have a problem with them. But it can be.
It's not that they're bad. It's just my
it can be, I guess, tough to manage. My biggest one is the stamina, which I'm pretty sure it was the way in the first game too. You can only run so far before you have to walk, and your horse can only run so far before it will try to buck you off, and it's just annoying.
That's a GTA design too. It's the same thing. You can mash A for a little bit. I think even Bully has the same thing, right? You can only run for a little bit and then he tires out.
It's a Rockstar thing. But yeah, the one thing that, Skyrim, everyone boasts about, the thing that everyone loves about is that it's a living, breathing world. Red Dead Redemption said, oh, that's what they can do. Let's see what we can do. And Bethesda's all about the role-playing games, the worlds, the environments. Red Dead Redemption is really stepped it up. Like, you just go through the world, see, the river, you can hear fish jumping, something running in the distance, crackling leaves and stepping on branches, birds flying, it's almost as if you're in nature the way it sounds. Like, just everything about it is just gorgeous. I was actually riding through some of the landscape and I'm just looking at it, I don't know how they made this world. Like, just from the engineering standpoint, I can only imagine just what it took to make this game.
It took 88 gigabytes of your hard drive.
I thought it was 108.
I'm pretty sure it's in the 80s.
Plus an update.
Top 80s.
But yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing. I can't wait to play more.
Have you seen the horse poop?
He called the shit poop.
I have not yet gotten to experience
On
that.
the other end of the spectrum, there is a point in the game where it's very snowy and where you hitch your horse at one of the hitching posts. If you look down, the snow will be yellow.
And the nards get smaller, right?
That supposedly, I haven't looked myself.
Sure you haven't.
Although Ben Beastmiddle in the Discord had also pointed out that it's when the horse gets startled, if you look at their eyes, like they startle the way a horse would too. Like that, just that very, very minute sort of details all seem to have been covered by the team that was developing this game. Like every eventuality that you can think of when you're walking around and what you should hear and what you should see. Like you think another big major release, right, was the Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. And there was this whole to-do about like it rains and there are no puddles. Oh no. No, it's not a big deal. I'm not talking about it in who cares? But then you have something like Red Dead where it seems like not only is there a puddle, but you'll hear a different sound if you're walking across that, and things will react differently based on it having rained. So it's just the amount of thought that went into preparing for all of that is really exceptional.
Yeah, that actually makes me remember something I did last night. I had the wagon and I was going into town, and the town in the middle of it was all muddy, and not only when I was going through it could you see the wheel tracks in it, but then you look at the wagon and on the wheels there's mud caked onto it, which it's not really that big of a deal, but it's just that little bit more that they add to it, and it's just like I'm there. Very small, minute detail, and had it not been there, I never would have noticed it. But it being there, it's just like, oh wow, that's something that's just very small that's added and makes it that much cooler. What do you think about the main character so far? Which, yeah, I guess we could say his name, Arthur Morgan.
Oh, he's a badass. Like, I don't remember Red Dead Redemption 1 with John Marston too much, but I'd probably say that Arthur here could kick his butt.
I'm on the reverse side of that so far. I'm liking John more. Granted, I've played John Marston, 80-ish hours, however long I put into the first game. I haven't had as much time with Arthur Morgan yet, but so far I'm liking John more. I think he has more of a personality.
I'm very curious how, because John Marston is probably my favorite protagonist of that generation of games, like across them all. Like I just loved his character. And I'm curious how this character will live up to that. I don't have any expectations of him one way or the other, but that's one of the things. I don't typically like Rockstar games. I'm not a big fan of open world environments. I don't really love GTA. I don't care about the content necessarily, but there's just something about them that doesn't appeal to me. And I really believe that a lot of my love for Red Dead Redemption is I just loved John Marston. I thought he was just such an amazing character. So
Without a doubt.
It's interesting to hear how you both are on opposite sides of the spectrum with that.
Yeah, John Marston was an incredible character. I think I'm with you on that. I think he's what really pulled me into Red Dead Redemption. I love his character, everything about him, his story, why he's doing what he's doing, and then the ending, how he went out.
Right,
it's just
how he handled himself there was the thing. Yep, that was the final nail, and I'm like, this is the best character ever written in a game. I think
that's hard to argue.
So we'll see. And then there's I'm curious what else impression is going to be at the end of this. Once he gets through Red Dead Redemption, how he'll feel about the character and where all that lies. So it's good that we're all kind of in different places, and hopefully we'll get to revisit this discussion in more detail. Murder. Well, if I told you, you'd be an accomplice.
So when you say John goes out, you mean like he goes out to get milk, right? You didn't just ruin something for me, right?
He goes out to get cigarettes and he never returns home.
Oh, damn it!
Game has to end some way.
Damn, those damn cigarettes do it every time.
Smoking kills, kids. That's bad for you.
All right, PSA.
So, Corey, have you looked at the achievements yet? Personally, I haven't looked. I'm kind of going blind until after I beat the story, and I'll start going back for cleanup.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've put 13 and a half hours into this game, which is...
Lucky you.
Well, that is a lot for me, seeing as I only play like 2 hours a night generally, maybe 3. But I actually took the day off the day it came out, so I got a nice solid 8 hours in that day.
Lucky you. I wish I could have taken off for this.
But we all know this game is touted at like a 60-hour story completion or something like that. I've gotten 6 achievements, 80 Gamerscore, and the last one I did was complete Chapter 2. I'm just barely into Chapter 3, and I cheated a little bit. I looked at the total mission count, and I'm almost a third of the way done with the missions. Wow.
Nice.
There's a bunch in there. According to the in-game counter, I'm 27% done. So just extrapolate that out. This game's going to take a while now, but I have unlocked fast travel. Still have to figure out how to fast travel back for free, at least. There is a stagecoach where you can pay, but hopefully that will speed up the game, because honestly, I guarantee you at least 2 to 4 hours of that is me riding around this damn desert. But you're gonna get a large chunk of achievements for just completing every mission in the game, and just going along, you're gonna get probably most of the miscellaneous achievements. That's accumulating so much money by robbing or looting. There, you mentioned fishing and hunting. There's an achievement for catching a very big fish. Crafting so many items and delivering X amount of things and whatnot. You're probably going to get that along the game. What you won't get is, I think I counted 17, if I'm correctly. There are technically 17 unobtainable achievements in this game right now, and that's because they are all related to Red Dead Online, which obviously isn't out yet.
That drops
mid-November, I think.
I was thinking early December.
It's probably within the month. Oh, I just unlocked a bunch of achievements on my Xbox that I should have unlocked last night. My notifications are blowing me up right now.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I have another achievement list related question. How many achievements are on the list, and how long did it take you to get your first achievement? And was that just a story achievement, or did you do something else during it?
There are 51 achievements on the list, and the first one you're going to get is going to be a story specific mission. This one says, let's see, when did Red Dead come out? what day of the week was that? Do you guys know?
Friday.
Friday.
The actual day.
The 26th.
The 26th. So it became playable at 11 o'clock on the 25th. Somehow it says, my TA must be wrong. I think it took me 45 minutes to get the first achievement. And I
Sounds about
started
right.
pretty much right on the dot when I could. So,
Okay.
and that story achievement is within what they call Chapter 1. I don't remember how many missions there are in Chapter 1, but there's a good bit more in between Chapter 1 and 2 than there is between 0 and 1.
Yeah. The first one comes quite quick.
And besides the Red Dead Online, there are still a couple that people are working towards that nobody's unlocked that will take a long time. Ones to know are earning 70 gold missions in story missions, 70 gold medals in story missions. Apparently, like once you complete a mission, you'll get this little icon that's usually bronze, silver, or gold. I'm pretty sure the parameters for those missions are unknown until you replay the mission, so you won't know how to get gold the first time you play it. At least that's what some people in the Discord have told me. I haven't replayed any missions yet, but that one's gonna probably take a good bit of time because you most likely won't get it on your first go.
Yeah, that and then the hunting and fishing achievement. Actually, are they two different achievements or is it just one?
Hunting and fishing.
Yeah, I know there's at least one for hunting to have killed and skinned one of every.
These aren't secret achievements, so I mean, there shouldn't be really any spoilery. But there's an achievement for skinning every species of animals in story mode, and also for studying every animal across all states in story mode.
Yeah, so those will take quite a bit of time. Because I know there's over 200 animals in the game.
Yeah. There is,
which is crazy.
There is an achievement tied to a specific animal. And maybe we'll do an achievement with wildlife hunters on it. But nobody's unlocked it yet. But it's to survive 18 bear attacks and kill the bear each time. So.
Wow.
Get your shotguns ready.
I hated that achievement in the first one, the barely legal achievement for killing 18 grizzly bears. I could never get that stupid thing. Yeah. That's nice to know that's back in this stupid game.
Yeah. Overall, it seems like a good list. Even the online stuff doesn't look hard or super grindy unless level 50 takes a long time.
That I'm not sure of.
I don't think anybody is.
I don't think I've done any of the multiplayer stuff. Or I did very little bit of the multiplayer stuff in the first one, so.
Yeah, I don't think I did a single thing. I got really mad at the first Red Dead. Not at the game itself, but I had just beaten the story, and I pretty much grinded it out in a couple days. And then my hard drive crashed on my 360, so I never went back to it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
Don't have a 360.
Thank God for cloud saves.
Hard drives crash. All right, guys, so I think that wraps it up for Red Dead talk. I know, I can't wait to get back into it. We got two news things we want to talk about real quick. The first up is Game Pass. We have a couple of new games entering into the library. Corey, what are those that are entering?
Yes, so far for November Game Pass additions, there probably will be more added on when XO18 comes out November 10th. I'm almost positive that some more will be added, but the first 5 titles at least have been revealed. Those are Grip, which looks like to be a racing game, Ollie Ollie 2 XL Edition, Rise and Shine, Sheltered, and Sniper Elite 4.
I'm excited for Sniper Elite, although I know darn well that's going to be like Hello Neighbor. I'm excited for it. I want to play it. I'm going to download it, and it's just going to sit there because Red Dead and Forza are taking up all my time. And here shortly, I'm getting Spyro and probably getting the Crash bundle with it. So as much as I like to play Sniper Elite, that's probably going to go on the back burner. But that's a good ad. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I will say I've heard good things about Sniper Elite games. I was kind of clicking through these to see if any of them looked to be a quick completion. Grip actually has a release date of November 6th, so that was like a new game, and it says $40. So That could be a good ad for Game Pass.
That's a real good ad for Game Pass.
Ollie Ollie 2, I could not get Ollie Ollie 1 very well. I don't know if any of you guys played it, but that was just not what I was thinking it would be, and it was kind of hard, so I would assume the second one's still the same.
Yeah, the second one has like a 6,000 TA score.
Yeah, it's probably just as difficult. Rise and Shine is a running gun. It's at a 2.7, so it's probably a little bit more difficult. 17 completions. Sniper Elite is a 40 to 50 hour completion. It's a 4,700 TA, 1850 gamer score. But that still sells for $60 digital. Probably cheaper in retail though, because it came out in 2017. I don't know. I think that's a good variety for Game Pass owners.
Yeah. Once again, Game Pass is a fantastic value. $10 a month.
I mean, they pretty much did confirm that they're going to announce more games at the 2018 in Mexico City. Because in that graphic they released that showed the upcoming games, that was the first image and more to be announced at. So definitely have to keep an eye on November 10th. In looking, none of these games immediately struck me. But in looking at Twitter and sort of the Twitterverse response after it, Sniper Elite 4 definitely got a lot of traction. Like, people were very, very happy with this inclusion. So it's great that it continues to grow. They're definitely putting top-line games on the service. In coming months, we're going to hopefully see some more first-party games. Forza Horizon 4 has already been played by quite a few of us. Not myself, but via Game Pass.
You're missing out.
So... now that UHH is over, like I said, I can game like a real person again. So yeah, it's great, and it continues to grow, and I'm looking forward to see what November 10th brings, because you have to imagine they're going to announce one or two pretty sizable things at that conference.
Maybe more OG Xbox titles.
There's an idea.
I can't think of any big name Xbox exclusives that aren't on there.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be some, right?
All the Halos are on there, either with Master Chief or Halo 5. All the Gears are on there.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Wars is on there. Fables are on there. Sea of Thieves. Forza Horizon 4. That's actually the only Forza game.
Recore's on there, I believe, already.
Yes, I believe Recore is on there. Quantum Break's on there.
Well, and you have to... It might be just in... part of the deal with speaking with so many people who are really into achievement hunting. Game Pass is not a super great value if you're looking for a service with a bunch of easy Gamerscore games. It does not have many of them. Like you were saying, Corey, when you looked at the list of new games, none of these games fall into the classification of things you could play for an hour or two and even get 500 Gamerscore. They're all real investments in time. And I feel sometimes in our own little echo chamber of achievement hunters, the service is a little downplayed because they don't add many games that fit that particular mold of gameplay.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, there are. I believe there are a few that are easy, but yeah, for the most part, they're more good games.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily good for achievements.
Right.
What were we going to say before, Al?
Oh, I was going to ask you what you were talking about with the Spyro and Crash bundle.
Oh, yes. Actually, Corey tagged me in this in our Discord channel. Spyro, obviously everyone knows, is coming out, and Crash Bandicoot came out March of this year, I believe.
For Xbox.
So, for Xbox, yes. Came out last year for PlayStation. But they are doing a bundle. Spyro is typically $40, but for $60, you can get the Spyro Reignited trilogy and the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy together.
Yeah, essentially an online retailer leaked this bundle, and it saves you $20 if you don't have either game.
Well,
and to be honest, Crash is probably going to be $15-$20 come Black Friday or Christmas. That's going to be on sale.
A physical release somewhere? Is that an exclusive release somewhere? Because I didn't see any info on it.
It's probably going to be physical and digital, I would assume. Definitely physical.
It's definitely physical, and I would imagine digital, because I remember seeing other games having a digital bundle Fallout 4 and Skyrim being bundled together.
Yeah, but it's essentially 6 classic games that have been remastered, so you're paying like $10 a game. And they're not just your rinky-dink remasters either. I have the Crash bundle, and I mean it's a quality remaster. Everything's been redone, and the Spyro one looks even better.
Yeah, they didn't just go in and update the lighting and.
Kenny's using air quotes right now.
Yes, audio is very difficult. But they didn't just go in and change the lighting, redo the music a little bit, make it a little fresher. It's actually been remastered. Like, it might as well be a new game. They went in and changed everything. True remasters. But second piece of news, the PlayStation Classic has released their full list. Just a couple of the bigger games that they've added is, Cool Borders, the original Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid, Oddworld, Rayman, Resident Evil, and Twisted Metal, along with a few others. They're probably the bigger name games.
I probably would say
This
Persona
sucks.
1 is a big title for some, not for me so much, but yeah, Persona, Tekken 3, Twisted Metal, like you said, and Final Fantasy VII. I don't know Roman numerals. Yeah, there's some big ones.
I think Battle Arena Toshinden was one of them too.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Toshinden back in 90, whatever that was. Go ahead, Alan.
It's Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
Corey.
okay, thanks.
Obviously.
Z is 5. Ones are ones, or I's are ones.
I guess that's what you would say is the
Damn
educational
Tennessee.
portion of our show.
But that's coming out
December 3rd
next year.
this year.
Oh, well, I meant Final Fantasy VII's coming out, and I feel like a lot of these games have been remastered or re-released in some capacity.
I don't think so, actually. Maybe the Metal Gear, Rayman. Is that
Resident Evil.
is Rayman Origins a remake of that? No, I didn't think
No.
so. We're still doing Tekkens. I don't think that wouldn't really age well. Twisted Metal. Yeah, I don't really think
Resident Evil has had to have a remaster.
that's the only one I
4 or
can,
5 times.
I can see. But I mean, overall, obviously this is a pretty catered list. But I grew up on the PlayStation, and there's maybe 3 or 4 games that stick out to me in this list.
Yeah, this list sucks.
I mean, I know obviously we're all obviously Xbox people, right? Like I know, Kenny, you own a PlayStation 4, correct?
I own all 4.
1 game
Right.
each.
So
My PlayStation 2 library is still quite big. I love the
So she
games.
said.
Hey.
I was a hardcore PlayStation gamer from the beginning of the PlayStation, beginning-ish of the PlayStation 1 life cycle. So from when Square said they were going to be producing Final Fantasies for PlayStation consoles, until the endish of the PlayStation 2. Because when it came time to choose between PlayStation and Xbox, I chose Xbox because their online functionality with Rock Band. So I had a big section there where I exclusively played PlayStation. I did not own an OG Xbox. And there is nothing on this list that makes me go, I want to spend $150 on this classic for nostalgia purposes. Like, nothing. The one thing that I saw on the list where I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool inclusion is Intelligent Cube. Because
Really
I don't
good
think
game.
that's been put anywhere else. It's a good game. I haven't seen it. Jumping Flash was interesting for the time. I don't know how well it holds up, because Jumping Flash was all about jumping very high distances and looking down and seeing all these polygons below you. So it's kind of tech demo-y, even as well as being unique gameplay. But the other one was Wild Arms, which is another game which didn't really come out in other capacities. But they're asking twice as much as the Nintendo Classic consoles were for...
$100.
Oh, okay, so not quite twice as much. But like,
I think it was 150 Australian that you saw.
that's
Chin mention.
that's my
Poor
where I was
Australians.
getting the wrong number from. But it really is not an inspiring list, and I think where Nintendo Classic and Super Nintendo Classics have held up over time, A lot of these games in the early 3D era of development just don't. They control weird. It's very hard going back to a game like Resident Evil and playing in tank controls because that's not how we play games anymore. And I don't know how it's going to handle stuff like that. The classic controller does not have analog sticks, so I assume that's how we're going to be playing these games. I have no interest, and to me, in terms of the list, I feel like they really dropped the ball here. It's just, there are a couple things that are interesting, but certainly not enough for what they're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of these games on here, not only do I already own them, but I've played a bunch of them. And personally, in my opinion, there's only 2 games on here that actually hold up after all these years, and that's Intelligent Cube and Final Fantasy VII. Both are still good games. You know, you could still play them and enjoy. Grand Theft Auto is terrible. It's you don't want to go play that. The first one, Twisted Metal, horrible. It's
Aww.
Leave it in your memory. It's better nostalgia. I've tried playing. I tried playing the 3rd and 4th not too long ago. It just doesn't hold up. Same thing with Tekken 3. I remember putting so much time into that game. I love that game. I love the Tekken series. It's not very good anymore. I just for $100, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I know for some people it's going to matter, but Revelations Persona is probably in that, like, my top 5 least favorite games I have ever played.
Really?
So
wow.
I want nothing to do with it. It's not really the game's fault, it's my fault, but, like, still, I don't like it. I don't want to play it. I do not want to be involved in any version of purchasing it. I know, again, probably unpopular decision. I've heard the later games in that franchise are amazing, especially Persona 4, but no thank you.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, you're spending $100 for backwards compatibility. Xbox does it free.
Right.
Sort of.
By the way,
we've had this forever.
By the way, Destruction Derby is awesome also.
Oh, yes, I missed Destruction Derby.
I enjoyed that.
That was
probably didn't age well either, but I enjoyed those games when they came out.
I agree. I can't imagine it plays well now. It was definitely fun back then.
I can confirm that Cool Borders 2 and Twisted Metal do not hold up well and play well at all. I bought a real PlayStation about 5 years ago for $30, and with like 5 or 6 classic good PlayStation games, and I don't have that anymore. There's a reason why I didn't have it. So
yeah, Cool Borders I really liked back in the day, you know, when I loved Tony Hawk's. Tony Hawk isn't that good anymore.
Well, I mean, I'm still in the search of a really good snowboarding game. Like Steep was very close for me, but I don't know, maybe that's a genre left in the past, because with SSX and Sean White snowboarding.
Yeah, just very underwhelming list for how much you have to pay for it. And like I said, Xbox has backwards compatibility. It's fun going on Facebook and Twitter and seeing everyone talk about backwards compatibility. PlayStation, guys, you hated it. You make fun of us for it. Now you gotta spend a lot of money on a mediocre list.
If this was the first classic console to come out, it would probably be better received, even by me. But the NES and the SNES are just far superior in terms of quality and
agree.
What's missing?
Game collection.
What would you want to see on it?
On this PlayStation one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to see all the Twisted Metals that were on the OG. I'm pretty sure at least 2 were on the first one, right?
The first,
you could say
first 4.
There's got to be a Tony Hawk game in there.
Yes, throw the Tony Hawk games on there. Throw all the cool borders for me.
Tomb Raider 2.
Right. And I understand why Spyro and Crash are not on the list, because they're being released in other capacities.
I can forget
but
those.
I associate Crash very closely with my PlayStation. I mean, he was pitched as the mascot, and it's totally not here. I want to say maybe... I mean, they did okay with the fighting game representation with Toshinden and Tekken. I remember playing a lot of Soul Calibur, but that was probably on the Dreamcast at the time, so I'm going to take that one back. I mean, what's the other? Ridge Racer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
Gran
no Ridge
Turismo.
Racer.
Yeah,
Gran Turismo,
How
right?
do you
Like,
not have Gran Turismo? Like that's the PlayStation racing game. That's their
Probably
Right.
music licensing.
See,
That's my
I
guess.
do have.
no.
I don't remember there being
Sorry,
music.
Ridge
Okay, I could be
Racer had really awful built-in music. That's why everybody
for Gran
put in their
Turismo.
own CDs
Right.
and swapped them in and listened to half of a track of whatever 90s disc you happened to put in at that time, because the built-in music was not very good. So it's not a licensing issue with that game. I can understand like some other stuff, like no, that wasn't the case here. I don't. You could have put one more Square game on. Final Fantasy Tactics probably would be enough for me to feel a whole lot less irritated at this list. It's just not a great.
I've got 3 more
representation.
for you. Ape Escape,
Okay.
That's a
Um,
great
I
one.
forgot about that.
Tomba,
I was
Mm-hmm.
just about
Oh,
to
boy.
say that.
As soon as you said Ape Escape,
I would
Tomba
love
jumped
that.
into my
and
head.
I don't know if this was a.
Don't say Sly Cooper
I don't know
again.
if this was a good game or well received, but I remember playing the crap out of it, and it was Bomberman Fantasy Race. That like stood up against Mario Kart for me.
No, that's
Wow.
all you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
definitely
okay,
you.
well, Ape Escape and Tomba for sure.
That's actually something I was gonna say. You know, obviously you can't have Crash. Why not Crash Team Racing or Crash Bash? I realized Crash Bash was probably the lesser of the two, but Crash Team
Mhm.
Racing was actually a good kart racer, and it's not the best now, but it's not horrible.
Right.
If you want that Crash representation, that would have been a great game to put on here.
Hey, you know
Or
what else
what
is
about-
missing, Michelle? We'll see if you're going to
I'm
say
curious if you're going to say what I was just thinking, because a couple more popped into
Go
my
ahead.
head too. I have 2.
it. Mm-hmm.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
which is probably one of my favorite games ever. I wouldn't even say probably, it is one of my favorite games ever. What we've received recently, or PlayStation 4 gamers have received recently, is that port of the PSP version of like Rondo of Blood, which takes out some of the graphical effects and stuff. So there's another, missed opportunity. And Silent Hill.
I forgot
There's
about
no
Silent
Silent Hill. The Silent Hill and Resident Evil were kind of franchises that grew up with each other, starting on the PlayStation. And neither, Resident Evil's present, but no Silent Hill.
I mean, I guess you only want one horror game, but yeah,
Michelle, your
Silent Hill
favorite
would've been a
game
good
you're
one.
forgetting.
No, you get 2 fighter games and 1 horror game. That seems arbitrary.
Oh, I found a
fair.
couple more.
My-
The whole list is
Here you go,
arbitrary.
L. These 2 are in your wheelhouse too. I think I
Uh-oh.
played this, which is why I'm bringing it up. WCW Nitro,
Oh, God. That's very
and
bad. Yes.
probably the best.
I remember.
Probably the best wrestling game ever, The Simpsons Wrestling.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, but there's so many. Now that we're talking about Parappa the Rappers,
There
on
it is.
there,
That's the one I was going
I-
to say.
That got a
Um,
remaster, so I can see them not.
it did
adding
get a
it.
remaster. But even there was another game called Guitaru Man that came out later. Or no, it was PlayStation 2. I'm going to take that back. So,
Jammer Lammy.
right, the sequel, Jammer Lammy, that could be on there. That's another
But
good
that's
choice
why I
that
say,
was
why stop at 20?
overlooked.
I bet you if
Exactly.
there's 50 titles, people will go nuts.
Because you can, I guess in theory, you could potentially repackage it again. Soul Reaver was another favorite of mine during that time. I played a lot of PlayStation 1. And there's just a lot missing.
I mean, I don't know exactly how popular it was, but Jersey Devil, I know, was a relatively big game. Something I would have loved to have seen. I know it got good scores back then. I don't know how popular it was. Probably my all-time favorite game, Future Cop LAPD. I would have loved to have seen that on there.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to take crap for this. I know I am. But so many people have a good memory of it. Digimon World 1. I know I'm going to take crap for that. I know I am. But anyone, that I've ever talked to, when they think of the PlayStation 1 and they like that kind of stuff, they like that game. That was one of their first
Mhm.
introductions to that series, or that franchise, I should say. That's not on there. That would have been a huge
Yeah.
nostalgia thing.
Remember when we
Yeah.
played games for fun? Oh,
I know. Yeah, no, another huge nostalgia thing, and again, I understand its exclusion, but if you wanted to include a game that might get some people to go, wow, that's a interesting choice, that wouldn't have come right off the top, is Klonoa Door to Phantomile, which I'm doubting anyone else here has played.
I have no idea
But
what
it
that
was-
even is.
It was
Noah.
awesome. there was a sequel released on the Wii, I want to say. But it was Namco, kind of attempting to have a more modernized mascot. It's very much in the 2D platformer vein, but it's phenomenal. It's one of the best games in that genre. I think it's regarded as one of the best games on the PlayStation 1. And it's also just there are lots of other choices that could have made this list. Putting the Grand Theft Auto game in there is great, but Grand Theft Auto didn't really hit its stride till 3.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a weird inclusion. And I don't know if that's to surprise, fool you. It's not really the Grand Theft Auto
Yeah, it could be name recognition.
Right.
I thought of another really big franchise that had 5 games on the PlayStation, and you could have added any of them. Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Elle mentioned Tomb Raider 2.
Oh, I didn't hear what you
earlier.
said.
But this is exactly the problem,
That's
right?
huge.
That there are all these great games that, obviously I loved Final Fantasy VII. I know I'm in the rare camp of people who played Final Fantasies before 7 and really enjoyed it. But Suikoden is a phenomenal PlayStation 1 only, and especially the second entry in that franchise. Wild Arms made the list, so I had some hope. But no, there's just great choice after great choice after great choice that got left off the list.
Yep. PlayStation, you suck. No.
Oh no, let's not go there. Let's not go there. They do.
Nah. I'm
Microsoft gamers would trade PlayStation Classic for the kind of first party catalog of new and exciting games that Sony has been putting out this generation. There's been some solid stuff coming out for Xbox now, but when you have a God of War game sitting over there and the new Spider-Man title, things like The Last Guardian, there's a lot going on that's really good in
I'm
PlayStation camp. But the PlayStation Classic is not one of them.
No, not at all. You guys got anything else you want to say?
I mean, they could have had my money, but maybe they'll have another shot at it next time.
Let's see if they screw up the PlayStation 2 Classic.
See, I have even less nostalgia for that because I'd moved to Xbox at the time. Good luck.
All right, guys. That'll about do it for us. If you enjoyed the show, please like and review us. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You can follow us at all the normal places. We're everywhere at our gamer tags. Be sure to follow and tweet the show on Twitter at Achievements101. You can follow the Mixer page at achievement_hunting_101_podcast. Long ass Mixer title. And lastly, join in the conversation. Let us know what you think about the PlayStation Classic, Red Dead Redemption in our Discord. discord.io/AH101. We have an entire channel right now dedicated to Red Dead. We know you're playing it. Everyone's playing it. It's the game of the decade. We have our channel. You can talk spoilers or not. But yeah, join in the conversation. Let us know about whatever. All right, guys. Talk to you next week. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.